Alright, so it's taken me a while to get any kind of sequence that isn't terrible, so we're just going to go forward with what we got, because I don't have that much longer to record, and I really want to get this done. So, I did get two that were okay. Cave Dwelling, yes, that's actually one that I do want. Not the greatest one, I was hoping to get one of the really good ones, but that's pretty good. The other one is Effect None. That's actually pretty good, considering one of the other bees that I'm breeding out right now has a really nasty effect on it. So, these two are, in my book, worth doing. So what we're going to do is we come over to our polymerizer, and we're going to chunk both these guys in there. And these are going to fill up with polymerizing bacteria and DNA, and a little bit of this gold. The gold just makes this go faster, otherwise it uses up the same amount of stuff, so far as I know. Gold just speeds it up. And these will each take, I think, 6 or 8 polymerization runs in order to fill up. And by doing this first, before we toss them in the sequencer, it will speed up dramatically how long the sequencer takes. If you just throw a very faint sequence into the sequencer, which I believe our sequencer is over here, it takes about 15 to 20 minutes. But if you run them through here first, it will take significantly less time. The idea here is that we want to get it up to very strong, and this will just go automatically fill this guy up, and then it'll pop the sequence over here in order to be extracted, and the next one will pop in. So once again, we're just going to cut out while this thing goes. We'll just jump cut. Oh, that's right, the jump cut upgrade. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to install the jump cut upgrade, and we'll see this thing complete instantaneously. Man, I love that jump cut upgrade. Isn't it great? Makes everything just finish right away. So, as we see, we have two very strong sequences up in here. And heck, the jump cut upgrade even gave me another one of these very faint effect nuns. Now, I don't need a very faint effect none, because this is going to be all the effect none I'm ever going to need. So I'll show you what I can do with that later in order to get that blank sequence back. So then, now that we've got these things up to very strong, we can come over here to the sequencer and pop them in. So it will slowly sequence this thing. So even though this is very strong, this still is going to take a while. Probably, I don't know, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, something like that. So while that's going on, we're going to go over here and we're going to make some things that we're going to need in order to use these sequences. And that is serum vials. Yeah, here there. So we're going to need empty serum vials. It's not too bad, just a gold ingot over some glass. We're going to make a whole bunch of those. No, we're not, because we need more glass pane. That's okay, we have 26,000 glass. We're going to have plenty of pane, so let's throw a couple of stacks in there so we can make a lot of these. Yep, there we go. How many of these can we make? 32. That's going to be plenty. Now, empty serum vials are okay by themselves. You can use them okay, but my preference is to use the array. Now, the array is a little bit more expensive in that you just need 9 vials, but again, not a big deal. We're going to be able to make 4 of these. And what this does is it lets me put a vial will let me take 1 genetic trait into it. A serum array will let me take as many genetic traits as I want into it, as long as they don't overlap. Like, I can't take 2 different species into a serum array. I only can have 1. I can only have 1 speed, things like that. You'll also notice that I now have 2 modest larvae in my inventory. That was because I realized having larvae of one of the best bees that I actually own is not going to be helpful, because I can't really improve upon them. But these are just generic modest larvae. If we go over here, you'll see that they're just, short, slower, slowest cacti. You're basically just a generic larva. So we'll just do all those. That way we actually have something to improve upon here once these things all get sequenced. So this looks like it's about halfway over. Again, it takes a long time. If you do this, it's been, about, probably about 3 minutes now. So maybe it takes 5. So plus the time that it took over here, you're looking at maybe a total of 8 minutes to sequence it, I'm guessing. Something like that. If you don't go through the polymerizing step, as I said, it takes 15 to 20 minutes just inside here. Alright, jump cut upgrade is almost done doing its thing. I wanted to show you the guys this part. So we've got 2 more allels left to get out of here. Okay, 1 left. Come on, baby, let's go. Alright, so now it is finished sequencing. And boom, it pops over to black to a blank sequence. Now what's happened, after a little bit of delay there, is now if I go into my gene database, I have the gene in here. Effect none. Now I've sequenced one of 1206 genomes, so if I want to be Mr. Completionist, this is going to take me a while. What I can do is take an empty serum array and just left click on it. And now this serum array has effect none in it. And you can't get anything out of it. I can't get rid of this effect none because it is now part of this array. So every time you want a different array with different traits, you're going to have to go ahead and build one. I'm pretty sure there's no way to clear what's in an array. I think it's what it is forever. Oh no, you can smelt it. Oh, well there you go. So there is a way to get stuff back from an array, so if you screw up, you're going to get it back. So we can take this blank sequence, run it back over here, and put it in here. And once again, oh, the thing I was going to show you that I didn't last time was that if I have a sequence that I don't like, I can also smelt it and get back to blank sequence. So it's very nice that these items, if you've got something you don't like on them, you just smelt them and they go clean. So you're good to go. Alright, so unfortunately, effect none isn't going to do anything to these guys because they already have effect none. So what we're going to have to wait for is we're going to have to wait for this one. Because this is cave dwelling, and I'm pretty sure these guys aren't cave dwelling. Let's check them. It'll let me show you how to do it. So let's check. Cave dwelling, not cave dwelling. No, no. So what we're going to do is we're going to install the jump cut upgrade one more time to the sequencer and put this cave dwelling on one of these larvae. Alright, so jump cut complete. As you can see, this time we are done, and for some reason that jump cut reordered my base a little bit. It's a weird thing about the jump cut upgrades. You really got to be careful with them. It'll make things jump around in your base. It'll make, for whatever reason, hardened portable tanks just kind of spring up and then move around your base and then vanish. So watch out when you're using those jump cut upgrades. Alright, now that we've got our sequence done, we need to create a file for it. So let's just go ahead and grab a fresh file here. And we'll just grab, what is it? Cave dwelling yes. So now we've got cave dwelling yes on a file, in the serum array, sorry. Now we need to charge this serum array in our polymerizer. So the serum array goes in here and starts to charge up. It's basically the same process as when we charge the sequence. However, in this case, it's going to take a little bit longer because it can hold up to 16 charges. What we're going to do this time, though, is just put one charge on it, because we're only going to do one larva just to show you guys kind of proof of concept. So this will just charge up here, almost there. We won't use the jump cut upgrade this time. Again, I don't want these techniques to move around. It's really weird. I don't get it. So now we've got one charge in it, which will be enough. We come over here to our inoculator. We put our APR serum in there, and it jumps into the spot. Now, if we put a larva in here, it's going to go in there, and it should start to slowly, very slowly, inoculate this larva with the serum array. Now, this takes a long, long, long time. So we're definitely going to have to use the jump cut upgrade this time. So jump cut upgrade, initialize. Alright, jump cut upgrade complete. So now, weird that it didn't eject him, but sometimes these things act weird. Look down here, and it's got cave dwelling on it, so that's been successful. Not sure why it didn't eject him down to the bottom row, but I'll figure that out later. It may be that if there's not another one in line, it just leaves them there. So now we have a cave dwelling modest larva. Now, that's not the end of the road. Next thing we have to do is take this larva over to an incubator that had this weird tank sprout on it that's filled with growth medium. Now, growth medium is the thing that's currently being piped into here to make the bacteria that runs all these other systems. Anyway, we pop our larva in there, and then it will randomly, after sucking down so much growth medium, turn into a drone. And now we have a drone with which we can then breed with a princess. So, as you can imagine, it's probably a good idea to do your full 16, fill your serum, let's get the serum out of here, fill the serum full of 16 and do 16 larvae in order to make a full set of 16 modest drones, and then you can do your crossbreed, kind of smash breeding is what I call it, where you just breed one princess over and over again with the same drone. And that will pretty much get you whatever you want with your apiary serum. Like I said, it's a very slow process, but it is a very nice and complex one. I do like the complexity, and I like that a lot of these machines have this cool above block, I don't know what you would call this, above block glitz while it's doing its stuff. Oh, that's another thing I did, is I popped a very faint sequence in here just to show you how slow this is. I popped this in just shortly after I started the inoculator, and it's still going. So it's been a good 20 minutes. No, not that long. It's been a good 15 minutes, and it's still going. So this is going to take like 20, maybe even 25 minutes. So yes, definitely good idea to polymerize your DNA sequences before analyzing, because unless of course you just want to set something up so that it'll do it overnight, because if you got nothing but time like I usually do, doing it without the polymerization step, not that bad, just let it run overnight. But if you're kind of in a hurry, this is gonna kill you. Alright, and that's pretty much how you do genetics. It's a very complex thing, and the story is not quite over yet, because in the more recent genetics, we have the Splicer, something I didn't put on the board. Now, the Splicer is a very, very nice machine, but it's also incredibly expensive, and I honestly don't know if I can afford to build one of these, so let's check it out. The Splicer basically is going to let us take a shortcut towards the end, so let's start with, oh, alright, count it. Count it on the counter. Alright, so it's going to let us do something very nice, but it does take integrated casing, which uses 8 of these integrated circuit boards on top of all the other stuff. So it's a very, very expensive recipe. In that it just uses crazy, crazy amounts of... Do I honestly not have any more of those? Integrate... Oh, nope. What am I? Integrated. Is that really what it's called? No, it's called something else. It's enhanced circuit. I've got 18 of them. Why isn't it pulling in? Alright, well, obviously there's an issue with that, so integrated. So obviously there's an issue with this. Or did I not? I'm probably a doof and just hit the wrong thing. I must be very, very tired. Okay, so let's get that casing. We surround it with integrated circuits. And then we get an integrated casing. Alright, so then, what's this thing? Splicer. We need 2 of these integrated CPUs, which is a diamond surrounded by more of these integrated circuit boards. And this is the part where I don't think I've actually got enough of these. Yeah, I've got 10. I need so many more of these. I need 8 more. No, sorry, I need 6 more. So, we need some redstone. Redstone, weirdly, I am running low on. I don't know why. I've been having a devil of a time getting it. Redstone, and I need bronze. Just take the rest of this bronze. Alright. So we take these over to our jump cut enabled carpenter here and toss those both in. Man, I love jump cut enabled machines. If you don't have at least like 6 or 7 of those in your base, you are not playing Minecraft the right way, let me tell you. Alright, so let's get 6 more of those. Alright, so then don't know where that emerald came from. Probably fell off of one of my little guys over there. Alright, so now we need diamond. Getting to a point where I've almost got more diamond than I do redstone. I don't know what the deal is with the redstone. I'm even quarrying specifically for it right now, and I seem to be just using it up way faster than I can accumulate it. Alright, so I think that means I can build the splicer now. Yeah, that's looking pretty good. Alright, the splicer. Now this guy. This is the guy. So the splicer here, pretty simple. You got your serum arrays, and you've got your input. Unfortunately, we're going to need somebody to input, so let's run over here. Oh, we're also going to need a splicer that's been polymerized. Ugh. Why is this not doing anything? Oh, it's not. It's not actually there. That's the other thing that's weird about the genetics machines is a lot of them get these ghost images in them that aren't actually there. Not sure what causes that, but you know. So what was it? I was grabbing some drones. Grab her out of there. Alright, so. Killing me here. So we got our drone here. Again, not cave adapted. We grab our serum over here. It's got 1 charge on it. That's fine. Go to our splicer. Serum goes in there. Make sure I grab the right drone, which I think it's this guy. And your, sorry, not the drone. Well, I don't know why I grabbed the drone. You grab a larvae, put your larvae in there, and whoosh, it's going to suck down a lot of charge. It's going to take a while, but it's still... I can't believe I'm not producing enough power to keep this thing charged. But in a lot less time than it takes the inoculator to do its job, and without any fluid, this guy is going to do his job. The problem is that it takes a tremendous amount of RF, and I didn't even just look to check to make sure that my current system could keep up with this thing. Apparently not, because it's drawn a lot of power. From testing, I honestly don't know how much charge this takes, because I hooked it up to a creative cell, which had no problem keeping up. So obviously my base is not up to the task of providing enough energy to keep this thing going. But it actually only took a couple of minutes compared to this thing, which took, if I remember, it was like 10 or 15 minutes. This thing took about 3 to 5, if I recall. And that's basically all in the info. Basically, processes fast but requires monumental amounts of power, and that's very true. Given the amount of time it took, it probably took a couple million RF easily. And unfortunately, I just do not have the infrastructure to do that. I just have everything hooked up to these redstone energy flux duct, which means that this thing's sucking way more than 8,000 RF per tick. And it's... Oh, there it goes. Oof. So, as you can see there, it took about a minute and a half when it was... Oh, so it didn't actually take all that much longer. I thought it took 2 to 3 minutes, but I don't know, my brain's weird tonight. But then it's got that cave dwelling on it. So, as you can see, tremendously faster, and it doesn't take any kind of fluid. So this polymer, this bacteria vector, you don't actually need for this one. So that will actually save you blaze powder and a little bit of growth medium, and then bacteria from there. See, another one of those fake images. So yeah, the splicer is really the way to go if you've got crazy power gen. If you're super impatient, which, you know, most of us are. If you don't have crazy power gen, then your guy is going to be the inoculator. Takes 10 times longer at least, but get you there with very little energy and just with some bacteria vector. So that's basically genetics. Now I have the ability to custom create any bee that I want, as long as I can get enough beage to get my sequences. And basically at this point, this is where I start collecting species sequences. And by collecting species sequences, I can get rid of that chest over there, because then I'm only 16 larvae away from any of my bees that I've already got. In fact, better versions of many of those bees, because I can put whatever traits on them I want. So there we go. That's where we're at right now. And then I'm just going to toss these guys in there and see. Oh, so that one did eventually finish, and now we're on to another strong one. That's a maroon. What else do we have in there? Another maroon. Well, great. Glad I've got 2 of them. Oh no, I see. It just popped in there. And again, those ghost images, those are irritating, but I haven't figured out why it's happening or how to get rid of them. So this serum array will have probably a bunch more stuff added to it. I don't know that I've got anything else that I want to add right now. Pollination is slower. Oh, that's right. I got fertility maximum while I was installing those jump cut upgrades. So that's definitely one that'll be on most of my serums, unless. So that's a weird thing, is that if you want to set up a bee system that you don't have to take into account your disposing of your drones, having a low fertility would actually be beneficial. But since there's almost always bee products that you're going to dispose of anyway, you might as well have those extra drones to do something with. Alright, and that brings us pretty much to the end of genetics. I can just pull this off the board. There are a couple of things I wanted to show you, kind of explain why my frame rate is so bad, and just kind of go over a little update of what's going on here. So I'm pretty much done with the moon. I might need to get some more asteroids, but at this point I'm ready to start thinking about Mars. My main floor, as you can see, has been cleaned up a little bit. Now I've got this central pillar, that's where my ME cable is going up. And I've got a little friend over there, which I snagged when I was getting some more apiarists. Hey, buddy. Probably going to name him. Not sure what I'm going to name him yet. Maybe Crunchy, but, you know, Crunchy's always what I name my wolf, so probably not. Got little sections of the different mods starting to set up. Like I said, I did basically all the cleanup today, and I haven't really started populating all the tinkering machines in here. And again, just kind of stuff here and there. As you can see, my wind turbine's still running in the background. It's not making UU matter very quickly, but I wasn't really expecting it to. I just wanted that there in order to at least be doing something with all that wind power. And that's pretty much my next step in IC2 is to start prepping to get myself a nuclear generator. But what I really wanted to show you guys was what I did down here. Now this is where all my lag is coming from, my FPS lag. Mostly from these two guys right here, and as you notice, it's going to start stuttering a lot. And I'm sorry right now for the crushers. I'll try to tamp that down in post. We'll start with this over here, because this is probably the one I'm most proud of. This is a Cobbleworks. Basically what this is doing is it's taking cobblestone that's being produced by this igneous extruder that's upgraded with the tier 1 and tier 2 augmented igneous catalysts. And basically that's feeding a whole double stack of machines that you can see there and there. In the back here you can see that there's just a whole bunch of item duct moving everything around. And what this is doing is it's producing 9 products from cobblestone. And some of these are going to be useful, others I just wanted because, you know, I was like, well, what else can I make from cobblestone? So I got niter, sulfur, gunpowder, silicon, glass, sand, flint, gravel, regular stone, and of course cobblestone. And each one of these is hooked up to a storage bus so that I have access to all of these materials from my ME system. And that's actually where a lot of my lag's coming from, because all these machines are just running pretty much all the time until this fills up. My hope is that once everything here fills up, it'll stop killing my FPS as much. This guy over here is also causing me some FPS lag, mostly when it's doing its thing. It's inert right now because it just finished doing what it was doing. But when it's running full tilt, it does suck a lot of FPS because this logistical sorter is sending all kinds of items all over the place. And as you can see, I'm stuttering and stopping. So what I really want to do is get into RF tools and make a void dimension and move some of these consistent big lag, FPS lag machines into that pocket dimension. It's kind of against the spirit of keeping everything on this slime island, but as I build more of these kinds of machines, it's really going to impact the quality of my videos and the frames I'm going to be able to do. Because right now I'm at 52, bouncing up to 60, but if I start moving around here, I'm going to quickly drop into the 40s. Yeah, like especially as I go up and look at like the back of that, it's going to drop down. So you're going to notice choppiness and such. And like I said, most of the FPS lag of my base, as far as I can tell, comes from all this, because if I'm up on that floor and look down, my FPS goes through the floor. And some of that glass might be causing it too, but it's mostly these guys. So I kind of want to get them moved out of my base, especially the Cobbleworks, but to a lesser extent this guy, just because, again, it's going to kill the quality of my videos having him here. The other thing that I ran into, and another reason why I want to get the RF Tools base, you'll notice that I've got a Tesseract here instead of the Gendustry Industrial Apiary. And if we come, do my sprint jump, yeah, that's a big time killer of FPS right there. If we come over here and we go into the mining dimension, you'll see that I've set up, oop, a little bit of lag, oh, whoosh. You say I've set up my apiaries and my other Gendustry stuff here. And that is because there is a bug in Gendustry right now, and it might be with Bidoo's core, but we're not sure, but it certainly was happening with Gendustry. It was what was causing my chunks to have bad blocks, and it was happening in any chunk where I had an industrial apiary, where I would just spawn these bad blocks that could crash the server, but at least would make it so that you couldn't update any of the metadata in that block. So I moved them over here into their own chunks so they can't really hurt anything. Since I've done this, since I've moved all of this Gendistry stuff over here, there hasn't been any problem in my base, so I'm hoping that it's just these. Otherwise, I'm going to have to move my advanced generator, which is also a Bidoo mod. So yeah, that's one of the reasons I want to do the RF tool, so that I can get these along with my automation system just away from my base so that it keeps my base stable. But I was telling you about that bee that had the bad trait on it. Let's see if I can... Oh god. Oh, nope. On fire. Oof. Okay. Let's just take the queen out of here real quick. This is the one, the demonic queen. She's almost filled up. This is going to be my new power gen bee. I'm going to because I've got this sinister bee over here right now, but I'm going to replace it with this demonic bee because in addition to the simmering combs, which I've been using to produce my lava, she also gives glowstone dust, and I've been having the darndest time getting a good source of glowstone together. So having her is going to really help with that, especially when I start recabling all of my ME stuff into dense cables. So that's basically my current project, but I really want to pull that flame off of her, so off camera I'm going to work on actually, why don't I just grab those now? Grab those, right? Oh god! Grumpy bees, jeez. Alright. Oh, caught in the... Alright. So we're going to just take these guys and plop them into ye olde isolator. And hopefully that will isolate those bees, some of the traits that I need off of them. And then I can recombine it and create a super bee with what I pull off the maroon drones. And that'll be my first super bee. And hopefully by the time that we get back to my next episode, where I'll be tackling, let's see, IC2 and Mars, that super bee will be done, and I'll be powering my base off it and getting glowstone out of it. But that's pretty much been the episode. I hope you guys had a good time. Once again, I'm always having a great time up here. I'm having a lot of fun with bees, although we're not going to be seeing a lot of bees moving forward from here on. I think I've pretty much taken bees as far as I'm going to on camera. Most of it's going to be off camera, and I may just follow up saying this is the coolest new bee that I've done. I will certainly show you the Certus bee once I get there, but we're still a couple days out from that. But if you haven't had a good time, then I hope you learned something. And if you didn't learn anything, well, I hope the rest of your day goes really well. But until next time, I'm Taco Mage, and you guys stay frosty.